account Prabhu, which is about to start recording. All right, and this time we are actually broadcasting live to Facebook. Facebook is not getting a recorded version, so we're here live on Facebook, live on Zoom, and we're here happily with you on February the 5th, 2026. So let us begin with Mini Vandanam, and you can all join in, but with your microphones turned off. Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Parikrama Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sarvaitam Savarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvijay Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, this is back to the basics. And happily, Aparajita Devi Rasi has also joined, Sevarupa Devi Rasi has joined, Rasarati Devi Rasi has joined since we did our initial greetings, as well as those on Facebook. And if I'm very smart, I actually may be able to see Facebook at the same time. So, we are the day after Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj's disappearance day, the same year that Srila Gurudev disappeared. Then Sripad Bhakti Premik Siddhanti Maharaj passed away just a short while, a few weeks before Gurudev. And tomorrow, the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And this is a big day. He's not a historic figure on the calendar, somebody from the way past. He's the very inaugurator of the purity of Krishna consciousness in this age. In fact, the first reformer in the sense of putting everything into practical application, practically applying everything for the modern age, since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with the wave from Goloka Vrindavan, original Goloka Vrindavan and original Navadip, to this world for the benefit of everybody, including the fallen souls. And so here we are trying to participate in Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mission. And in fact, Srila Gurudev would say that we are his students, or we are in his line, we are representing him. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he preached with the help of many very strong, stalwart, strict devotees throughout India and the bordering countries. And throughout the world, then his message is now being broadcast by the books, by the audio, by the teachings, etc., that have come from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and in direct English from Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj. And so we are all in this line, this current of trying to fulfill Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's desire that the word of Mahaprabhu, the message of Mahaprabhu, will be spread to every town and village, and indeed to every heart. So we are not separate from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We are the product of what he was wanting, that the Westerners around the world will come to appreciate the message of Mahaprabhu. And we are also the product of what he's wanting, in the sense that we are also, each of us, trying to share that message with those we meet and with sincere seekers, and in particular, those who may be feeling the need for relief work in this world. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance is tomorrow, and it is an important day for us all, because without him, then we would not have anything. As Gurudev said, our life and death, everything is connected with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Hare Krishna. And in the meantime, since we were welcoming devotees, and Nazar has joined us, happily from Ukraine, or happily for us, he's joined us. And Paramananda Prabhu from Jaipur or somewhere nearby, Shyama Priya, who's returned to Kiev from her Indian pilgrimage, and Jai Gauranga Prabhu from Australia, where it looks very bright. And I think we gave a welcome to everybody else, but Balaram Prabhu has now joined Leela Moy Prabhu. There in, where are you? Jaipur.
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 Twice.
Hey. Hare Krishna. Nadia Priya Revirasi joined. Did I mention her? If not, Nadia Priya, we are welcoming you. Oh, I was trying to turn on the Facebook so I could see also. But for me to do that, Nadia Priya, Hare Krishna. Good to see you with your camera on. But for me to turn on Facebook, I need somebody else to say a few words. And about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Oh, actually, first, about Sripad Bhakti Premik Siddhanti Maharaj. And just, if anybody hasn't heard of him, or doesn't know him, then we can say a few words, because very happily Srila Gurudev glorified Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj in his lifetime, and glorified him in many ways. But one of the last glorifications, if you like, last points that he stressed about him was Gurudev was so happy with the book Religion of the Heart that Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj put together and presented, which is essentially explaining the 4 additional super excellent qualities that Krishna has that no other form of himself has. He's got so many expansions, all perfect, all super, all wonderful, but he has 4 extra qualities. And so Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj took from Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj's talks, and the various discussion about those super excellent qualities, and he made that book. And Srila Gurudev genuinely, happily was seeing this book and saying, how can Siddhanti Maharaj put these things together? Because Siddhanti Maharaj was known as very simple-hearted, sincere, selfless devotee, but not known for his slokas and many things like this. But so he's an example. His sincere devotion gave him the capacity to recognize the current that Srila Gurudev was giving, not only recognize it, but gave him the capacity to extract the very super subject matter that Gurudev gives from his talks and put it into book form. And Gurudev truly was very happy with the book and with Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj. And most of us know him as Chidananda Prabhu, because we knew him for many years. From the time of Srila Guru Maharaj, I knew him as Chidananda Prabhu. He was always tall. Well, You're always going to be tall when you're tall, but he was always thin. Of course, many, not only devotees, many human beings, when they get past age X, then they start to expand quite often in size, but not Siddhanti Maharaj. He stayed thin all the way through. And really, from the simple days in Navadip, seated together, taking prasadam on the small raised ledge outside the bandari, the storeroom, which is next to the kitchen, which was where we took prasadam for several years, with no prasadam hall built. First of all, the prasadam hall, which is adjoining the backside of the bandari, the backside of the main building of Srila Guru Maharaj. That came later, in the later pastimes of Guru Maharaj. So that must be 1987, probably. Probably that was built in 1987. And we always called it the new Prasadam Hall. And Gurudev was very happy with the new Prasadam Hall. And we're thinking it's going to fit all the devotees forever. But no, presently we had to have a new Prasadam Hall, which came quite a few years later. But that is 2 stories, and the upper story with the built-in tables, like with the like raised, completely out of stone tables. So you sit on the floor, and then where you put your plate is then raised by 1 brick length, brick height, and then of course it's all cemented and sealed. And downstairs was simply flat, so open. So you could feed a lot of people in the new hall, but in the new hall. But at that time that I remember seated with Siddhanti Maharaj, and he, by the way, where's Leela Mohi Prabhu, okay, and others maybe here, but he, by the way, was commenting on how much rice I ate. You can put it back, in his American accent, he would say. So, when we were younger, we also had some capacity for honoring the prasadam of the deities. I remember him pointing that out. Hare Krishna. Actually, we have lots of memories from that veranda, from those generations. And we would sit all together, but in an organized way, believe it or not. And so probably we'd be a dozen devotees taking prasad together, and it would be the sannyasis, red-clad brahmacharis, white-clad brahmacharis, then grihastas. That would be the general row, and then the prasadam is served. Hare Krishna. So Siddhanti Maharaj, we knew as Chidananda Prabhu for many, many years, and absolutely selfless. That was definitely his nature, and absolutely open. Whatever he thought, he said it. And sometimes embarrassed himself by what he thought and what he said. And one classic example, he won't, okay, maybe he will, maybe we shouldn't give classic examples, okay. But really some very humorous examples that Srila Gurudev himself couldn't help but smile at. Like such a beautiful, open-hearted, as I said, very simple-hearted, as we are told in the scripture. We should be simple-hearted and faithful. Simple in the best way, fully accepting. And if we don't understand something, we should ask. And actually, the example I was thinking of was Srila Gurudev explaining about sin and where sin resides. And the sin resides in hair. So the hair grows. And incidentally, today, the forensic scientists, they can tell so much about a person by their hair. I'm told we have a devotee's husband, but that husband, very devoted person who actually works as a forensic scientist for one of the dear governments in the world. And he really told me some quite amazing things. But Gurudev explaining, different things, how sin resides in the hair. And so that's why, sin and power can both reside in the hair. But he said about sin, that sin resides in the hair. So that's why the gundas, means the dacoits, if they kill somebody, then they shave their head. They shave. And then Siddhanti Maharaj listening to this and sitting, listening. Then he asked Gurudev, just very innocently, he said, Gurudev, do they shave the head of the person they killed, or do they shave their own head? And we were all on the veranda, and we couldn't help but laugh. And Siddhanti Maharaj sitting there with such a childlike, innocent face, and just saying, oh, yes, I understand. And Gurudev couldn't help but have a big grin on his face. And Siddhanti Maharaj seeing him and all of us, just very honorably, as they say, took it on the chin and kept on going. So if anyone is in doubt, anybody's in doubt, put up your hand. No hands. You're shy to put up your hand. It's the person who does the crime who shaves their head, so that the sin is not going to be staying there in their hair. They don't shave the head of the person that they just killed. Hare Krishna. Okay. But on to other subject matters. So Sripad Bhakti Premik Siddhanti Maharaj, or Chidananda Prabhu, as he is really affectionately known for so many years, he was dear to Srila Prabhupada, we know. He was dear to Srila Guru Maharaj. We know. I have been there when Guru Maharaj has been expressing his direct care for him, caring for him. And because his health was particularly weak at one point when he was in India. And Guru Maharaj personally was caring. I mean, I don't mean as a doctor, but he's asking how he is and giving him some recommendations, etc. And then during the long time with Srila Gurudev, and then we've seen such a beautiful devotee and master affectionate relationship. So that's kind of in brief about something in honor of yesterday, the disappearance of Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj, Chidananda Prabhu. And now, because we're here today in our back to basic Zoom, where giving honor to the devotees is the very basis of our devotional life, and not the opposite. Stay far away from the opposite and only give honor to every devotee, because every devotee's got a devotee side. And then tomorrow is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And by the way, coming up, so I just mentioned that Srila Gurudev gave praise, verbally, openly gave praise to Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj in Siddhanti Maharaj's life when he's there, when he's present, and giving very much honor and praise to him. And I'm just skipping to the day after tomorrow, because the day after tomorrow, it is the disappearance or appearance day of Sripad, or it's the appearance day of Sripad Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj. And there is some similarity in the sense that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave honor to Sripad Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj in his lifetime. means in his lifetime. In other words, he's praising his own disciple. And this was very much noted by Guru Maharaj and very much noted, of course, by all the devotees. So when the gurus are giving praise and honor to the next generation, to the disciples, then we must give some particular attention there. And who is recognized by a pure devotee, we can understand that they are devotees. So we always want to be able to recognize devotees, and this way we get that opportunity. So now Lavanyamoy Devirasi has raised her hand, and she's going to share something which will give me a chance to turn on Facebook so I can see
okay, good. At least I do something useful. Whatever I say, I still have done something useful. I was just remembering that when Siddhanti Maharaj passed away, you remember that Gurudev said this is a happy day because he, he'd from Srila Prabhupada, Srila Maharaj, he perfected the life, and he was always, I always loved that. He said this is a happy day, it's a celebration day that Maharaj will be making progress, to the spiritual realm. I just remember that. It's very nice. Siddhanta Maharaj is always kind and helpful with everyone, and he'd always do he'd like to do all the dirty type of service, like digging out the plate area in Navadip where all the leaf plates would get thrown, and type of like those type of more rough type of service. He'd always be happy doing things like that, which was always nice to see. That was it, Maharaj. I hope that gave you time to do something for your Facebook.
It did. It did. So a big welcome to those on Facebook. We appreciate your presence. I can't always join Facebook, but touch wood, which I have in front of me, then so far so good this week we're able to do that. All right, so with it being with tomorrow being Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day, which is definitely a happy day for us also, then may I ask to Paramananda Prabhu to share a few words. Paramananda Prabhu? Yes.
Maharaj, on this particular subject?
Oh, well, no. Whatever subject you like, we can pick that up also in a short while. But please share something, and it sounds to me like you're bursting to share something else, and that's fine with us all.
I mean, Saraswati Thakur, we've been quite Saraswati Thakur conscious for the last couple of weeks, visiting Sri Chairanya Math, his flagship, first Math that he established, his Samadhi Mandir, and then coming to Puri, again remembering
Mayapur, you can mention. Yes.
I mean, first I'm in Mayapur, then coming to Puri, and visiting, I think it was Purushottama that he established in Puri, where he spent later days in his Bhajan Kutir again. So we heard a lot about his pastimes, about his position, about his mood, that those gems that we inherited from our Guru Varga. I mean, none of us were present, obviously, during that time, but we heard a lot from Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada about him. And then we also visited a place of his divine appearance in Puri. And a lot of talks. I'm still remembering. Those memories are very fresh. And to say too little will be a little bit offensive on my side. And to properly glorify, the time is very short. So I would highly recommend all the devotees to refer to Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and especially the prayers composed by Srila Guru Maharaj in honor of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because Srila Guru Maharaj himself would say that if my Guru Maharaj, meaning Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, would hear those compositions, especially he was talking about Nikhila Bhuvan Moy verse. He's saying that he will say that Sridhar Maharaj imprisoned me in a cage of poetry, which is very sweet, and that's Guru Maharaj himself saying. It tells you something about their relationship and who is Guru Maharaj in the eyes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then divine transition of Rupanugadhara, the lineage of Sri Chairanya Mahaprabhu, into the hands of Srila Guru Maharaj, all of that. So we can always think about it and read carefully and contemplate about the prayers that Srila Guru Maharaj composed to his spiritual master, and also visit several talks by both Govinda Maharaj and Guru Maharaj on that subject. That would be good for everyone. And then you can sufficiently glorify and serve Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and also Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj. That will give them great pleasure if you are listening and really taking it in, especially focusing on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mission. But that's what is the most important. Like when Srila Guru Maharaj composed Bhakti Vinod Viraha Dasakam, it captured Srila Saraswati Thakur's heart immediately, because Guru Maharaj could, again, in the form of poetry, beautiful poetry, give everything Bhaktivinoda Thakur was about. What he came to give, what was his mission, everything was in there. A particular mood of devotion was beautifully expressed there. So in a similar way, if some appreciation will come to us, then it will satisfy all of our Guru Varga, and very good for us too on that day. But I can say something about Srila Bhakti Premik Siddhanti Maharaj. And we had fortune to spend quite some time together, many occasions. And Maharaj already described his personality, but what I like the most is how he joined Srila Prabhupada. That tells you a lot about the man. And when he was asked, so how did that happen? He said, well, I saw Swami on the street, and I thought, he looks like he needs some help. And then I came and offered my services. Really, that's Siddhanti Maharaj. Straightforward, extremely simple-hearted, but ready to sacrifice, ready to surrender himself. So he literally comes to Prabhupada and says, how can I help you? Even though it was Prabhupada. We can say, yes, it's Prabhupada who offers substantial help, but we do not know who he is. I'm meaning Siddhanti Maharaj. We don't have that capacity, so I have to be careful in that judgment. Because we know, just like Krishna, Svaparshadasviya Dhamma Saha Avatari, he's coming with his Dham, his paraphernalia, and his associate, most important. So personalities, divine personalities, they're also coming with their associates. And how they manifest their Leela, it is known to them, but not to me, for example. And quite often, and we heard it directly from Srila Govinda Maharaj, when he said, he was just expressing his feelings, heartfelt feelings, to a gathering of the devotees, saying that actually, you're all liberated souls, and I see you as someone who is coming to help me, sent directly by Srila Guru Maharaj to help my service to him. So that is the vision, divine vision. So what is their connection? How do we know? And in Bhagavad Gita, we hear that beautiful verse describing the qualities of the saintly personalities. Titikshava karunika suhridam sarvadehinam ajata shantava shatrak sadavak sadhubhushana. Always merciful, always kind, always tolerant, ready to give themselves to every living being fully. Those are the qualities of the saintly personalities. And because of these qualities, they have no enemies. So we can also apply that to Siddhanta Maharaj easily, without any difficulty. And one of his unique qualities was actually something we can say he inherited from Nityananda Prabhu. Special mercy. He was very predisposed to give everything in his power or his hands himself to devotees who were seemingly quite insignificant externally. He would single out those devotees who were like alone, very shy, needed some love, needed some affection, some engagement. He will give them full nourishment. And that was one of his specialities too. And we saw it many times. Maharaj can confirm that. He helped to so many, sincerely so. And another quality was that one time he landed himself in a situation and there was a possibility of impending long separation from Srila Govinda Maharaj. And I was right there with him, we were just talking. And then Srila Siddhanti Maharaj, he said, Prabhu, you know what? I have no desire to leave. If that is to happen, and I'm going to be separated from his company for that long, I'm ready, like right now, this moment, to leave my body. I would rather leave my body. Something we hear a lot from the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita. But that was expressed in such intensity and sincerity that I was quite afraid. So I wouldn't even leave his room because he was quite intense on that. And that tells you a lot about the man too. Of course, as you know, everything played out very beautifully and very nicely by the grace of Srila Govinda Maharaj. And one humorous story. I mean, Siddhanta Maharaj was so renounced, we can say. Let's just say he never looked in the mirror. Or maybe he looked to put a tilak, but the mirror was very small. Let's just put it that way. So one time, somebody asked a question of Srila Govinda Maharaj about, so what's the difference? I mean, there's so many Vaishnava organizations, and we know there's this ISKCON society, and they're very big, very powerful. And there's our society, there are other Math societies. So what's the difference between, let's say, us and ISKCON society? And Srila Govinda Maharaj's answer was very humorous. He said, actually, no difference, but maybe there is one difference. And then he paused. And then he said, they dress better than us. And that very moment, in the assembly of all the devotees, comes Siddhanti Maharaj. Literally, that very moment, as he is, I can say, at his best. And everybody was just laughing, like literally, Gurudev was laughing. Everybody was laughing. It was so timely, and it was just a perfect illustration. But anyhow, I mean, he would always take these things very easy. He did a lot of wonderful preaching, especially after he took sannyas, as is expected from a sannyasi. So he went to preach in Russia and some other places. And, well, as he is on his deathbed, and I'm with Govinda Maharaj in Thailand, and we're receiving this message. So Sanatani comes in, and then she reads the message from Siddhanta Maharaj. I think it was Sanatani, or maybe somebody else. And at that time, he's giving his dandavats and also expressing his gratitude. He knows he's going to leave the body. And he is engaged in giving gratitude, dandavats, obeisances, sharing some memories that he had with different devotees. And he's dictating it to, I forgot who was there. I think Vera Chandra was there for some time, maybe some other devotees also served, but they're recording that. And then they're reaching out to those devotees and sending these messages of Siddhanta Maharaj. He's practically saying goodbye to everyone, but in a very sweet way. And that's when we received those messages. And Srila Govinda Maharaj was, he was very grave at that moment. He didn't say much, but he heard how Siddhanti Maharaj, he sent me a message, and then he sent some other devotees message. He just heard it. And then he added, on his deathbed, he is still glorifying and serving the devotees. And then he just shook his head. I mean, who is that personality? Anyhow, it's good to remember the Vaishnavas of that caliber, that we had fortune to actually serve together, serve them, have some association. Like Maharaj said, spend some time on veranda together or eating, honoring prasadam together, these kind of interactions. And we were just having a big papaya here. Jaipur have wonderful papayas. And immediately we remembered Siddhanti Maharaj because he was a papaya man. I think that's pretty much the only thing that he ate regularly most of the time. And of course, Boroplas. Gurudev would actually call it Siddhanti Maharaj or Chidananda. That was Chidananda, the Boroplas. Anyhow. And wonderful to see everyone. Yes, Maharaj, I think you're muted.
Yes, I'm just going to explain that Boroplas, for those who don't know, that's an antiseptic cream that Srila Gurudev used. And he said, I mean, he noted and said, this gives very good result, this antiseptic cream on minor infections on the skin, cuts, etc. And so with that, Siddhanta Maharaj, he's thinking, okay, this is blessed by Gurudev. And he tried to make like a dealership in the United States, but they have very strong federal laws for health, whatever it's called, the health department. And so any medicines, and it was treated, they considered it a medicine rather than simply an antiseptic cream. So he actually took a lot to the States, but he wasn't able to establish like a dealership. And he was thinking that would be also a good way to raise funds for Gurudev. I think he gave them away to sincere souls after that. And his father was a senior Navy officer. And his father, I mean, I didn't meet his father, but we can guess he can't have been so approving of Siddhanti Maharaj, joining not the Navy, but the Hare Krishnas. But I know that in due course of time, then his father was favorable. So I don't know the whole story and everything, but you can imagine a senior, maybe a commander or some post, a strong post within the Navy.
Influential person, maybe.
Influential person, yes. And then he came to give support to Siddhanti Maharaj, which is wonderful.
And I remember how he was inquired by his parents, what are you doing there? You left home and now you're living in India and you're living in the ashram somewhere deep inside the countryside. So what are you doing there? Can you tell us? And then he is describing, I'm doing this and that, and mostly serving my guru, and I'm taking care of my guru's dogs. And he's coming from that wealthy, respectable, practically, we can say, considering there's practically no aristocracy in the United States, but we can say aristocratic background, in a sense, coming from that family. And then sincerely, again, simple-hearted and sincerely answering his parents' question. This is what I do here. I'm waking up and cleaning this and that, and I'm also cleaning after my master's dogs, and I'm walking and taking care of them. And one of my many responsibilities.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Jai Gauranga Prabhu. Was that raising your hand for a question? Do we get to hear your voice? Back to basics. You are now in Australia for some time. Are you maintaining your devotional life? Okay, don't answer me here. And to whatever extent you are maintaining your devotional life, what keeps you going? What is the basis that keeps you going?
Dandavats Maharaj, Dandavats dear devotees. Very happy to be here with you all. Maharaj, I'm trying to maintain my devotional life as best I can. What keeps me going is your grace and the grace of the devotees, and being here, hearing these, especially remembering Siddhanti Maharaj. Siddhanti Maharaj is someone who inspires me very greatly. I was fortunate being here in Australia to associate with some devotees that spent a lot of time with him, and so I have some I hope I have some appreciation of Siddhanti Maharaj and who he was, and also other devotees, and remember and being able to be in the association of the good devotees like that are here and that are here in Australia, and just trying to keep on keeping on day at a time. Yeah.
Okay. And keeping on, as Srila Guru Maharaj said, is not to be underestimated. To maintain, it is not to be underestimated. So keep on keeping on. Hare Krishna. So Bimal Krishna Room, and maybe Istadevika nearby somewhere. Have you recovered from the exhaustion of being with us on the parikrama in Puri?
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat everybody. Still recovering, Maharaj. Still recovering.
Just to explain to everybody, he was with us by heart throughout it all, and in separation, which we know separation is more strong than association. So this way I referred to his.
Still in separation, Maharaj. Where are you at now? I didn't catch where you are, Maharaj.
Well, I'm doing research and meeting people for the future. So I'm in India.
Yeah. I was just curious.
Yeah, but not in Jaipur. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking of Siddhanti Maharaj. I was fortunate enough to spend some time with him, unfortunately toward the end of his life, but here manifest anyway. But nothing but beautiful memories of Maharaj. Like, even, he had some health conditions, but even seeing him go through that, I spent some time in SoCal before I went back to India. I was there for probably like a month or 5 weeks, something like that. And Maharaj was there during this time. And, just to see his example coming to the temple room every day, that he could, his health condition, I think he had a cancer in his jaw, externally, like these things that he's showing, but very painful, and he's just eating blended food, things like that. But he'd still come down to the temple room and he would chant the bhajans in the morning. And, he was still out doing everything that he could. Most people, I think, I don't think they would handle it in the same way, because, obviously it was very painful. But one of my favorite memories is we were there for Halloween in Santa Cruz. We went downtown for a Harinam. And this goes on late, and Halloween there in Santa Cruz it's kind of like a lot of ignorance just packed in onto a street, really. A lot of people out partying and, dressed in hardly anything and whatever, but it's really beautiful. We're all there chanting and having this Harinam, and it's probably getting close to midnight, 11:30, and all of a sudden there's this wave of saffron comes, and Srila Ashram Maharaj and Srila Janardhan Maharaj and Sripad Parvat Maharaj, and then Siddhanti Maharaj also came down. Here it is almost midnight, and all these sannyasis come down and they join this kirtan. And I just remember just feeling, I just kept looking at them and focusing on them, and it just made it so much more special. But just seeing what he pushed through and his dedication to giving us all inspiration, and like Paramananda Prabhu said, he's very merciful, especially to the certain devotees who might not be how Paramananda put it. But for me, I mean, he was merciful to me, especially. There was one time, I think I've told this before, so forgive me if you've heard it, but it's a special moment for me with Maharaj. But it was kind of funny because I just received this big bag of Halloween candy from a devotee. So I was kind of like, I stuck it in my pocket, and I'm thinking we probably shouldn't eat a lot of candy. I'm living in the ashram and this and that. So then Maharaj, he calls me over. He says, Bimal Krishna. He's like, come here, I want to talk to you. And I was like, thinking I'm going to get chastised for having this big bag of candy, or that's like where my mind is. But Maharaj, he sits down, he goes, Bimal Krishna. He goes, when devotees leave their bodies, he goes, you're a kirtan guy. He goes, Jagadananda's a kirtan guy, and I'm a kirtan guy. He goes, when devotees leave their bodies, then sometimes, we'll chant for them. So he's like, if you're still here, then maybe you can chant. And for me, that was like a, super, super merciful Maharaj giving mercy. And, I think as time goes on and I hear more about Maharaj, I can appreciate that even more, just super merciful. And I don't mean that like I have any quality to chant for Maharaj, but like the fact that he's giving that mercy is what I'm really trying to point out. But that's just how Maharaj was, and I'm really grateful to have that time with him. But anyway, just some sweet memories, and I have to talk about Veera Chandra. Sorry, I forget to breathe when I talk. But Veera Chandra Prabhu, he did so much service for Maharaj during that time, helping with everything, and I just really want to recognize his service to Maharaj, and just how sweet. We never really know, like we see devotees and we meet them, but we might not know everything that they've done. And just the service he did for Siddhanti Maharaj during that time was just incredible. So really just want to give my dandavats to Veera Chandra Prabhu. And anyway, my dandavats to you all. I'm really happy to see you all and to be here, and hopefully meet with you all again in person sometime in the future. So my dandavats. Maharaj frozen, or is he in deep meditation?
Probably it's very cold where he is. You can see by his clothes and everything, and got completely frozen now. Oh, he moved. Anyway, I don't know, Paramananda, do you want to say something? You open your mic.
Maybe you should say something, little boy. How is your
Okay.
Jaipur parikrama experience?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Jaipur Parikram. This is we can say the parikrama after the parikrama. We can say that's more recovering parikrama, very light and gentle parikrama, and many amazing places that we went through, and especially the one place that really touched me, the Galta. It is the place where Paladevi Vibhushan defeated all the Pandits at that time, and put the Gaudiya Sampradaya in the evidence again. And it's really beautiful to see this amazing place, because usually we go to certain places that's really hidden places, and they have this so powerful energy and everything. And this place that we went, this Galta place, it's huge place. A lot of tourists tourism, and it's really touristic place. And I was observing these many tourists around, and I don't know if they know about the story, all the pastimes that happened there. Probably not. I'm trying to be optimistic here, but it's clearly not. And really, if they knew what happened there, it would be more contemplative for the place, for themselves, because it's not just a beautiful place. It's just a substantial and really powerful place. And Paramananda Prabhu was when we went there in the place, and he mentioned that the place at the time would be packed, full of people. And I try to imagine that so many high devotees, so many great Vaishnavas went to the assembly to see the prestige, the greatness, the magnitude, debate, and Baladev Bhushan putting the Gaudiya Sampradaya, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya in evidence again. And it's very beautiful to be in that place. And another places that we went through, of course, everybody heard about the Govindaji. It is the core, the heart of the city, where everybody goes to the artists, all this excitement about it, and many devotees of Govindaji, and Gopinathji also here nearby, and two other beautiful places. This Radha Vinod, this is the Lokanath Das Goswami Diti, and right in the corner, Radha Damodar, it is the Jiva Goswami Diti. Of course, many pastimes can be said about it. I'm not the right person, but I can just share where we've been through and try to transmit this post parikrama. And always, for sure, in the company with the devotees. We always mention that, and this is very true. Without the devotees, everything becomes blur. But with the devotees, we acquire our proper vision, and we have here many senior devotees, many senior parikramiers, and we can show really how special these places are. More or less like this, and we have a few more places to go, and it's up in the air. I'm just go with the flow, and Paramananda Prabhu guiding us.
One may say, why are we going to Jaipur? Like people say, oh, Vrindavan is a holy place, that's given. Puri is a holy place, Navadvip is most holy place, and so many other tirthas. But Jaipur, why is it a holy place, and why devotees like to go there? It is actually quite intimately connected to our lineage, to Mahaprabhu Parshads, to the Goswamis of Vrindavan, actually numerous devotees. And as was mentioned already, a very important event happened here near in Galta, near Jaipur, when the prestige of Mahaprabhu line was protected and promoted by Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, who was very young at that time. So many wonderful pastimes are happening here. And what is most important is the mood of the local residents. There are lots of Krishna devotees and also Mahaprabhu devotees here. And you can observe that mood by going on Mangalaratiks. Govindaji Mangalarati, Gopinath Mangalarati, Radha Damodar. So many temples, so many sweet, beautiful temples. But the mood of devotion is here. It's not just preserved, but it's thriving. And that's why we like to come here, just to get ourselves absorbed in that and observe it carefully with respect for all the local residents. And I believe Srila Madhusudan Maharaj is back. Hopefully, he made it, Maharaj.
I am back, but maybe I'm back without the video. I can try the video, but first of all, I'm speaking. Can you hear me, Paramananda? Can you just say yes or no?
Yes, Maharaj, yes, it's all good. It's all good.
Ah, okay. Anyhow, we're doing our best in difficult circumstances, but it's all good. And just one reflection I had before about Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj. By the way, previously during this Zoom, my internet dropped and came back. And you were saying, Paramananda, something about Sripad Siddhanti Maharaj in his last days. But I don't know if you mentioned this point. Please forgive me, everybody, if already you mentioned that. That is that really right up to the day, to the time that he was going to leave his body in the Sokel ashram, indeed, then he had a nurse coming to look after him, or more than one nurse who would come to do the daily necessities for whatever it is for him. And the nurse, he was preaching to the nurse, like a nurse says, like every time. And we heard that the nurses they commented, they never met anybody like him who's about to die and who was so positive and preaching, telling to those who are left behind about how to lead their life. So this was something about Siddhanti Maharaj too that came to mind when we were talking a few minutes ago. And just to let you know, I can't see anyone's video also, because I've turned off incoming video on the phone to give a better chance of staying online. So someone's going to have to speak so I know that actually you can hear me.
Okay, I'm here speaking. Probably you can hear me.
I can. Hare Krishna. Anyway, dear ones, our time has pretty much run by, and I only was able to reconnect. So yes, I couldn't stay on Facebook. I did drop Facebook a little bit before getting disconnected because I kept on getting messages of a slow internet. But happy to be here. Several of you are here who were on the pilgrimages recently. And so I hope you are adjusting to the environment and keeping your batteries charged. And of course, so many of you weren't on the pilgrimages, but I hope that we've been able to keep everyone's batteries charged to some extent by our participation. Not only our participation, I was only 10 days for Puri, the retreat, 10 days retreat in Puri. But for me, a definite bonus one day at the beginning, going to Khir Chor Gopinath in Remuna, where I'd only ever been once before, and that was with Srila Gurudev as a surprise visit, and honored Khir at that temple with Gurudev. And so it was very special for me, and very special for me to meet also so many devotees this time at that temple, and nicely looked after just down the road by the ISKCON devotees, disciples of Radhanath Swami, and they treated all of our family of devotees very respectfully, devotionally, and they were very happy to have us there. So we were happy to be there, and they were very happy to have us there. It was beautiful interaction. And now the pilgrimage is continuing in Jaipur, and some devotees have gone or will be going to Govardhan and Vrindavan, I think, briefly. And maybe those who know who's going there, maybe they can keep a little bit in touch through WhatsApp, etc., for how things are going there. All right. So anyway, dear ones, as I say, I can't see your videos. Otherwise, I'd probably be cut off again. But it's time to say the jais. But I'll pass the joys over to Paramananda Prabhu because I'm not even sure anyone can hear me, so I don't want to be talking into nowhere. So Paramananda Prabhu, can I pass the joys over to you? And I'm all to Leela Moy Prabhu. I see he opened the microphone. Either way.
Well, I think Leela Moy is very eager, Maharaj, so let's Leela Moy do it.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Jai Srila Bhakti Madhusudan Maharaj
Passing it
ki
over
Jai.
to you with my
Jai
face.
Srila Bhakti Sudha Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshita Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Upanuga Gurvaga ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Goranga Gandharva Govinda Sundaji ki Jai. Jai all Assam devotees ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtana ki Jai. Nitya Gaura Pramanande Hari Hari Bo. Anchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhya eva cha patitanam
Evacha
pavanebhyo
Patitanam
Vaishnavebhyo namo
Pavanebhyo
namaha.
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All good wishes, my obeisances, have special days, and please have a special day tomorrow in some way or another. On sasmat.com, there are several audios, there are also text as well. There are many things to hear and also to read. And we owe our whole life to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Let us honor the day as though we mean it. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Govinda Govinda. My Dandabad to you all. Hare Krishna.
Bhima